In a land where greed ruled and the weak were silenced, one poor farmer dared to challenge the mighty. How a poor farmer outsmarted the greedy chief and took over the land long ago. In the fertile valleys of Anugo, there lived a poor but wise farmer named Ogadinma. He owned only one hoe, one goat, and a little piece of land no wider than a woven mat. But Ogadinma was content. He worked hard, he sang to his crops, and his neighbors loved him for his humility. But trouble was never far in a land ruled by greed. The chief of Anugo, Chief Obialo, was known across 10 villages, not for his wisdom, but for his hunger. Land hunger, power hunger, praise hunger. If he saw a healthy piece of land, he would declare it ancestral and seize it. And anyone who refused to give it up would mysteriously disappear or be accused of offending the gods. Ogadinma's little farm sat near a stream where the soil was rich and soft, and one day the chief's eye fell upon it.
That land is too sweet for a man with one goat, the chief hissed.
So he sent his guards to Ogadinma.
You have until the next moon to vacate this land. The chief says it was once the resting place of his great-grandfather's cow. It belongs to him now.
Ogadinma stared at them quietly, then smiled.
I understand. Please thank the chief for his wisdom. But may I ask a favor?
The guards looked at one another.
I only ask that the chief allows me one last planting before I go. A farewell harvest, just to bless the land as a humble farmer.
Very well. One last planting. But no tricks, farmer.
No tricks, Ogadinma nodded. But the smile on his face, something about it seemed to calm. The next day, Ogadinma went to the bush and returned with 3 strange items: a gourd of bitter herbs, a carved wooden flute, and a sack of something no one recognized. He buried all of it quietly under the soil of his tiny farm. 3 days passed. On the 4th day, the air around the farm changed. The birds no longer chirped, dogs refused to bark near the fence, and villagers whispered that at night, a strange glow came from Ogadinma's hut. And sometimes they heard him playing a tune, a haunting melody, one that made even the wind stand still. Then came the 7th day. The guards returned to escort Ogadinma off the land. But before they could knock, the door flung open and Ogadinma stumbled out, wild-eyed and laughing.
The land, it speaks to me now. The gods have shown me its secret.
The guard stepped back.
You see, this land holds a spirit, a powerful one. It whispered its name to me, and last night it showed me how to awaken it.
The guards exchanged uneasy glances.
One of them muttered, "We should call the chief."
By evening, Chief Obialo himself arrived, riding a horse carved in gold. He looked at Ogadinma with disgust.
Enough of your madness, farmer. This land is mine.
Ogadinma bowed. Then take it, my chief. But be warned, since I awakened the spirit of the soil, anyone who touches it without permission will lose all their wealth, forever.
The chief laughed. Superstitious nonsense.
He stepped onto the land, and at that very moment the sky darkened, the wind howled. A flock of blackbirds flew overhead, squawking wildly. The ground trembled slightly beneath his feet. Chief Obialo froze. The villagers gathered, wide-eyed. Then Ogadinma raised his hand and pointed at the chief.
Chief, do you not feel it? The spirit is watching, listening, waiting.
The chief tried to speak, but his tongue felt heavy. Sweat poured down his face.
He turned to his guards. Bring the village priest, now!
The next day, the high priest of Anugo arrived, an old man who spoke only in riddles. He looked at the land. He looked at Ogadinma. He closed his eyes, then opened them slowly.
This land, he said, has been bound by an oath, a spiritual agreement. It can only belong to the one who fed the soil with truth and song.
The villagers gasped. The chief's jaw dropped. Ogadinma simply smiled.
You see, my chief, he said, I told no lie. I planted not only crops but a bond. my sweat, my song, my story. The spirit of the land has accepted me.
The priest nodded solemnly.
If you take it forcefully, your power will dry like cassava left in the sun.
Now, Chief Obialo was not a man of faith, but he was a man of fear. He scowled, climbed back onto his golden horse, and barked, "Fine, keep your cursed land," and with that, he rode off. The villagers burst into celebration, but what they didn't know was that Ogadinma had created the entire illusion. The birds? He had fed them fermented maize to make them act strangely. The glow? It came from crushed fireflies in a jar, and the trembling ground? A buried god of fermented palm wine that exploded at just the right moment. Even the high priest was part of the plan. He was Ogadinma's uncle, who owed him a favor from long ago. But Ogadinma never told anyone. He simply walked his land, which the chief never dared touch again. In time, the villagers began calling him the whisperer of the soil. And when the greedy chief lost favor and power, the people chose Ogadinma to lead them, the poor farmer who had nothing but his wits. And so, in the land of Anugo, the clever rose above the mighty, not by sword, not by wealth, but by wisdom. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel story, Time.